I want to introduce you to a guy that I got a chance to meet back in 2015. We hit one of the top ranks. We'd always talk to Samson backstage. And when this all came together, I sat down with Kim and Samson. We started talking about how the thing's going to go. And Kim says, well, who do you want to have sponsor you? And I said, well, who are you sponsoring, Kim? She said, I'm sponsored Samson. I said, well, if I'm given a choice, Kim, I'd love to have you sponsor, but if I could have both of you work with me, I'll pick Samson as my sponsor. And so I am very honored to have have him be my sponsor. And help me welcome Samson Li.
You know, it's always great to have somebody who's, over the years made millions. And he talked it straight, didn't he?
Yep.
Because in anything, in any business, it does take work. And look, how many of you want to make money? How many of you want to make some serious money? Whatever it is in your, seriously, okay. But my question to you is, will you commit to it? Will you learn all those things in that wheel to make it turn? Because if you do it, it can happen. We have, and me and Lance, we traveled the world. We met and we worked with thousands of people over the years. I mean, my previous business had more than 1 million people in my group. It's crazy. It can happen like that. But I was like nobody in 2009. I never made much money in the industry before. Just a little bit, but I tried to learn the business. Wherever you are, if you're in the business, it's okay. That's the right place. Because if you never go through it, you can never teach it. That's why Lance can teach the way he does. Right? It's fantastic, right? Because you tell it like it is. And it's not only like, just talk to 3 people, you can make money. No, it's not that easy. It's not like that. That's like, let's just tell it like the way it is, because it does take work. Many years ago, when I got into the industry in 2005, 2006, Kim said, hey, Samson, you're tall. Why don't you go speak? I said, huh? Right? I'm like Stephanie, so nervous, with the phone shaking and everything. And back then, no phone. But that's what it takes, though, You got to increase your capacity for success. Your capacity, you know what that is? That's, for me, I like cars, so I put it like, it's like a gas tank. Your life, how far you go is where you are now. That's the size of your gas tank. How much you can take in, how much you can handle, how much you can give. That's your capacity. But to be somewhere else, you really want to make money, you have to be able to handle a lot more people. You have to be able to handle a lot more money. Don't lose it. A lot of people make money, but they still small capacity. You know what happened to their money? Gone. They lose it. That's why most people who win the lottery, a few years later, they're back to where they were. So in this business, when you work at it, you increase your capacity, not only for the business, but in life. And life can be so amazing. It can be. And I forgot, a few months ago, I was somewhere, I think it was in Vegas, and I forgot who was I listening to. I just thought, the grass is greener on the other side. Most people just don't know it yet. Money, business is just exchange of value and energy. I had a little leadership training last night, and we talk about that, money is a result of what you do. But what did you do? You put your energy in something, in creating value, expressing your value, and you got paid for it, and then the money came. So what is that money? It's actually your energy, the result of how you use your energy, and more importantly, your time. There's 24 hours in a day, right? Well, no, in business, you can have more than 24 hours. If you have 100 people on your team, work 1 hour a day, that's 100 hours you can never do. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's actually not 24 hours a day. It could be exponential. And this is the kind of business. You have an opportunity to do that. Not at a job. Not like me, many years ago, I had 3 furniture stores. Not in my furniture store, because me and my employees, we only have those times. But here, a lot of people say, how can you go from small to big? You want to know how? Yes. Well, the very concrete example in business is this. In most businesses, when you go big, what does it cost you? A lot of money, right? More risk, because you have to also hire more people. You know, in California, you have to pay, employment tax, you have to do workers' comp, you have to do a lot of other things. So to scale up your business in normal business is very hard. But this kind of industry, who pays for that cost? Not us, the company. What do we invest? We invest in people. We invest in ourselves. Now, what Lance said, he's like right on point, Like, people just need to see it. Everybody out there, you know why they're not here? Because they haven't seen what you've seen. They haven't seen it. Everybody looks at life with different color sunglasses. Some are pink, some are blue, some are green, some are dark, some are light. They're all different colors, a different perspective, right? It's like if you sit in a theater, every seat is different perspective, isn't it? Think about that. That's how people are. Do not expect people to believe you, because they have their own thinking, right? So what do you need to do? You need to communicate. Communicate what you saw, right? Communicate what you've heard. Why are you doing this? That's probably the number one question most people have. Well, you talk about this, but why are you doing it? One of the people I follow, and I mentioned it before last time, Simon Sinek. So he wrote a book called Start With Why. Because most people will tell you what they do. The people who can do it good, they tell you how they do it. But leaders, they tell you why they do it. And it kind of goes into marketing. Not kind of, it is. As we go share, what is marketing? It's very simple. Facts tell, stories sell. So you're just communicating through stories. Like Lance told the story about the dog sitting on the nail. Do you remember that? Mm-hmm. Why did the dog sat on the nail? Why didn't he move? Because it didn't hurt enough. Right? That's how most people are. So through stories, right? But what's your story? Why are you here? That's important. Like Vivi told, amazing. It's so beautiful. People come in for what? Money. People come in for what? Health. People come in for maybe freedom. Maybe people come in for meaning. Meaning is a lot. Life meaning, right? Because meaning can create what? A sense of belonging in this world. And maybe you belong in a certain place, and maybe then you can walk that journey of finding your purpose. And that's a big part of Three. That's actually a big part of what we teach here. What we share. We try to build a culture of that around the world, right? And you heard Dr. Lena, medical missionary. Like we talked about it a little bit yesterday. What do you have all the money? Well, what would you do with this amount of money? What would you do with a little bit more money? What would you do with a lot of money? So those things though, it's important. Any goals that you have, you gotta think it through in your mind. And then you gotta make sure you write it down, right? I was watching a video yesterday. It just so happened, right? And they talk about, there's a Harvard study many years ago. And this, long time ago, they followed these people for 10 years. There's three groups of people. One group of people, 3% of people, they wrote down their goals. Okay? And then 17% of people, they thought about their goals. The rest did not have goals. 10 years later, you know what happened? Well, those 3% own 80% of the total asset of that whole group. Because they thought about it and wrote it down. And they went and took action to get it done. Something simple like that. Most people get into this business. I want to make as much money as possible. Anybody? Yeah. But you got to be specific. But not about the money. Remember, the money is your energy, what you put in it. All right? What you put in it, here's the output is the money. Right? So, but what are you going to do with it? What emotional meaning you're going to assign to it? It's very important. You think about that. Like, we talk about joy, like you're so busy doing so much and trying to help so many people. But why this business? You're busy already. Right?
Because I saw an opportunity.
For what?
For, sharing to be healthy and the opportunity to become wealthy.
Okay, so for you to be wealthy, but what are you gonna do with your wealth? What if one day?
I'm gonna share it. Of course, first I have to give back to the Lord what is.
Okay. And how do you feel when you give back to the Lord?
I feel happy and satisfied.
Okay.
And
Yes, because you do your duty, right? In a way, right? And when you give, what happens to that money? It goes to help more people,
yeah,
right? It's a beautiful thing.
helps people.
It's the energy that you put out there, right? So most people, I was sharing last night, I saw a little quote from Picasso. It said the meaning of life is to find your gift, and the purpose of life is to give it away. That's beautiful, right? Yeah. So actually, that's how how it works, how business works. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to show you the money. How I do the comp plan. Is that good?
Yes.
Let me show you the money?
Yes.
Okay. But now, this is one of the most beautiful comp plans you'll ever come upon. Because in business, people do things for reasons, right? They're motivations, right? It's like a carrot and a stick. Except this is all carrot. But if you do it right, if you look at the compensation plan, look at the qualification, get the qualification done, you know what's going to happen? You'll end up building a more solid and sustainable business over time. If you do that, you know what happens? Your whole group will do that. But it all starts with you, your understanding of this. Okay? All right. So I'm going to keep it pretty simple. So to start the business, how much does it cost? $30. All right? And Lance already talked about it. You get a replicated website, you get a back office, you get all the marketing support from the company, and it can go all over the world, right? So this is a global business for $30. How much does it cost to make a website? We have more than $30, right? Is that right, Victor?
3,000.
Huh?
3,000.
3,000, right?
At least.
Easily.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe $20 with ChatGPT now. I don't know. I'm just saying.
No
right?
way.
Okay, but $30 to start, okay, and you're a distributor, okay? So once you buy like 100 points of product, we call CV, you become a brand ambassador, okay? Brand ambassador can start accumulate your effort from your team. First way to make money, very simple, retail commission. Now this retail commission is anybody to go to your website, they buy retail, you make 25% of that on all the products, okay? And you know what also happened though? It's great business because many years ago, if I had a website for my furniture business and somebody bought something, I would have to ship it to them myself. A lot of hassle. Here, the company does it for you. They drop ships all over the world for you, hands-free. You know the old model where, you got to get a lot of product, so you have stock and all that. We don't need that. You need some product. I'll tell you how to use it later, okay? Not only for yourself, but also in the business. So 25% is easy, and you get paid the next day. Is that good? Mm-hmm. So do you know people who need to make money right away? Mm-hmm. They start $30. They can do this right away. They can make money tomorrow if they make some sales today. That's how fast it can be. Okay, now, second way is called product introduction bonus. Okay, so we have different packages. Okay, so they start with $200, $600, 13. How much? 1560. How much is the other one? 2,800. And there's the Visage one, right? Also for $340, right? So now, we call PIB, product introduction bonus. You're gonna make $25, right? You're gonna make 100. You make 245, and you make how much? 350. So for example, if somebody come in the premium pack, they sponsor 6 people in the same pack, they make their money back, right? So same thing, most of these about the same, okay? So you kind of get an idea. Now, but you know what else you also get though besides cash? Is points. Now, people, like when I first got into the industry, why do you have points? Well, points is to keep track of your business. You know, how much sales in your whole group. Because look, if you have to convert US dollar from Hong Kong dollar to US dollar, Taiwanese dollar to US dollar, Canadian dollar to US dollar, you'd be like, okay, you'd be like trying to figure that out every day. Instead, we just put a point system, okay? It's the same thing like when you use your credit card. Do you get points or miles? Yes or no? Yes. When you have enough points or miles on your credit card, what happened? You get a rebate, you get a free trip, you get something, right? So this, in 3, you get money when you have enough points. Now, is that easy? Right? So how many points is the intro pack for 200? 100 points, okay? Now, what about the premium pack for $600? 300. And what about the business builder pack for $1360? 500 plus 180. Is that right? So total 680. So, but this is divided 60 points a month times 3. Okay? So it comes to you. Right away, if you enroll somebody in the business builder pack, that's like 2 months of product for one person. Okay? Around there. All the product, right? So you will get $245 plus 500 points, and then next 3 period you get 60 points, 60 points, 60 points to you. Okay, and then the Pro collection for $2,800, you get $350 and 740 points right away, and then 660 points total, but it's 60 times 11 months in a way. Okay. Now, we don't quite operate on a month, it's our 4-week period. How many 4-week period in a year? 13, right? 52 weeks divided by 4 is 13. So there's actually 13 pay periods here, okay? Now, so the retail commission and product introduction bonus or PIP is what we call linear income. That's when you do something one time and make money one time, right? So let's say somebody Carmen asks me, hey, Samson, how to make $1,000 a month? Immediately, the linear income you can see, well, if you go out in 28 days, okay, find 3 people who will buy the Pro collection, $350 each, that's $1,050. You're at $1,000. You have a whole month to do that, 28 days. Can you do it? Is it possible? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's possible. But let's say instead though, you get 3 people to do premium pack. Well, you get 300. Okay? So whatever you want to make, set the goal and then make the plan. Okay, now, the next way to make money is one of the reasons why I'm in the business. It's called team commission. So in my furniture business, I had 3 stores. Each store, I had a team. When I go buy my Porsche recently, I asked my salesman, so how do you make money? Oh, in our dealership, we have 2 teams. Oh, hey, that's just like my business. In 3, you also have 2 teams, okay? So this is you in the middle. But what's gonna happen is this. The way this calculates, it doesn't matter who is there buying product. We only make money when people buy product, right? So remember the points, right? So when people buy product, you get points. So when you have people on, let's say the left database, you can even call it like a database or team, right? Left team and right team or database. And it doesn't matter what organizational position they have, it doesn't matter, okay? So whenever a product is sold, when there's 300 points of product on one side sold, 600 on the other, you're gonna make a cycle of $35. Is that a lot? No. It used to be like lunch for 2. Now it's lunch for 1. It's like chicken rice, okay? Chicken rice and a drink is like $35, okay? So now here's the thing. All these sales in your group, it doesn't matter who buys it. You get points as long as they're in your group. Yeah. So where the group comes from, either you can put them in or the people here put them in. They're still in your group. Okay? So this plan is we call global seamless. So that means from your business center, you can have people anywhere in the world that the company ships to. Now, let's say you share with a few people in the Bay Area, and they share with other people in the Bay Area, and soon maybe it goes down to LA, maybe it goes to Philippines, maybe it goes to Taiwan, maybe it goes to Australia, New Zealand, Japan. You don't know. They could be here. Anytime somebody buys something, 300, 600, ka-ching. It can also be 600, 300. And you can also get a ka-ching. That's Chinese for money. I'm just kidding. Chinese for cycle. Ka-ching. Okay. Now, if you have sponsored a whole bunch of people, like maybe 10 or more, and total they buy about 1,000 points a month of product, well, you're gonna qualify for what we call Happy 10. There's a lot of benefit. One of them is you're gonna cycle instead of 35, you're gonna get a pay raise to $45 per cycle. Now, how many cycles can you have? Up to 500 cycles, right? So first is 500 cycles, 4 weeks. Now, but that's not the only one. If you have worked hard, you develop 3 teams. It doesn't matter which side. 3 teams, like under 3 leaders, 3 different teams. That has a rank called 3-star elite. You're gonna cycle 600 times. You can cycle 600 times in 4 weeks. Would you like to cycle 500 or 600 times? 600. It's like a table, you can stand on 2 teams, but if you're on a third, you're pretty stable. Does that make sense? So this qualification, they unleash 100 cycles to tell you, hey, build a solid business by having 3 different teams achieving 3-star elite. Does that make sense? Okay, I'm gonna share with you what that is later. Now, so this is a very powerful pay plan because it doesn't matter where they are, it doesn't matter how many people, it could be to infinity. You can accumulate the points. Is that crazy? So what's your goal, Carmen? If you want to make a lot of money, what do you need to do here?
I got a cycle.
Yes, how many cycles?
Well, 600.
Yeah, there you go. I gotta say that with confidence.
Well, I mean, because I've been looking at 6-star, and so I calculate like how many cycles.
No.
No.
6-star is only sorry, this is a week. So this is a week, not 4
okay.
weeks. My bad.
It's per week.
It's per week, 500
it's
cycles per
500
week, right?
yeah.
Or 600 cycles per week.
Right.
How many in 28 days? That's 2,400 cycles. Would you like to get paid 35 or 45? 45.
Yeah.
And what is that? 600 times 45 is what? Come on.
60,000.
No. 600 cycles times $45. Nobody knows? Nobody knows? No, that wasn't my question. My question was, what is 600 cycles in 4 weeks? Times $45. 108,000 in 4 weeks. You guys dream too small. Right, Lance? Am I right? Did we dream too small? So what's your goal? What's your goal? 108,000 in 4 weeks.
Wow, I like
Times 13 times a year. What is that?
Crazy money.
million.
See, you guys dream too. No, $1 million is no. That's not $1 million yet. That's more than $1 million. You guys dream too small. Okay, if all of you have a calculator right now. Like this thing will go up. Okay.
Okay, fair enough. I didn't look.
I thought you guys want to make a lot of money. My point is, look, if you don't know the comp plan, you won't know how to make the money. Does it make sense?
Yes.
And Lance talked about knowing how to show the plan. You have to learn how to show the plan. Okay? If you don't know, you ask. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Okay, you have to learn how to show the plan. All right. So you guys dream too small. I'm in the wrong room here. Where's the real Three meeting? So what is 1 year, Carmen?
1.4 million.
Okay. No,
Yeah.
it's not 1.4.
Yeah,
It was, we just did the calculator.
just calculate.
1.404.
4.
1.404.
Yeah.
That's correct. Hey,
No.
1.404. That's $4,000. Okay, I'm not gonna leave $4,000 on the table.
Exactly.
All right.
It's millions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your goal to create that kind of income is to have two massive teams. Okay? I have people coming up to me and saying, I have a problem, Samson. What am I gonna do? I have one big team. Is that a problem?
No.
Is that a problem?
Nope.
Work on the other one. It does take work, right? So, see, like a lot of people say, oh, I have a problem. I cannot cycle because I have one big team. That's not a problem. You're halfway done. Build the other one. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I don't want to hear anybody in this room to tell me it's a problem if you have one big team, okay? All right? Some people have no teams yet, okay? All right? So, now, the fourth way to make money is wonderful. It's called matching bonus. Now, I'm familiar with this because in traditional business, you see a lot of this, right? Like in real estate, let's say you have a broker who owns the office, right? And maybe you have a little broker to manage the office, right? And then maybe you have a lot of agents, right? And maybe they have some assistants, right? So what happens when the agents sell a house? Who gets paid? The assistant, the agent, the managing broker, and the owner. How many level is that?
4.
Oh wait, is it multi-level? Oh my God.
Yes, it is.
Wait a second. So see, people who never done sales, they'll say, oh, I don't want to do the MLM thing. Do you know real estate is MLM?
Yeah.
Not in a traditional sense, if you just describe how it's paid. Does that make sense? Insurance, the same thing. Many people get paid, right? In my furniture business, I'm the owner. I have manager oversee all 3 stores. I have the manager for the store. I have supervisor, then I have salespeople. So how many levels is that? That's 5 level. It's all it is. Okay, now, what I realized is this. If the company incentivize you, to go deeper, that means it just wants you to build a bigger team. Okay? There's a lot of motivation there. And people motivated by money. The old the company that, Lance was in, where he spoke with Les Brown at the Georgia Dome, the A company. It's a very old, how old? More than 50 years now, right?
1956 they started.
56, in 56, wow. So imagine that plan, has that plan changed a lot? Not much, right?
You can't change it once it's already in. 'Cause
Yeah.
People with income, so.
Yeah, if you see, so like back then, there's no internet. Back then, it's like door to door. Back then, a lot of people, they don't have telemarketers yet, okay? So that comp plan is designed for that period. Now today, what do? Everything is like fast, right? People don't need to be garage qualified. They don't need to have a garage full of product like back then, right? Actually, there's still some company want you to distribute like that too. But that's so old. Now it's just drop ship. We're in a sense, Lance mentioned the word micro-influencers. That's who we are. We're also micro-entrepreneurs in a way, right? It's like, many years ago I heard about the micro-loans in India. Helping just individuals start a little business. But they forgot, that's the loan, but what about the person, right? We are that kind of people. In Indonesia, in Three, we have a very famous actress, like really famous, like 9.3 million followers. Yeah, she's in Three. She's making money in Three. And but she doesn't promote anything online. But how's that work, right? Because you know why? First, she doesn't want to mess up her brand. Because she represents all the other cosmetic company, clothing company, and other, right? So you want to keep that. But what she does is, she enrolled her closest friends. She doesn't go use social media and just blast everybody. She just enrolled her closest friend. Well, her best friend is Dr. Satya in Japan. from high school, right? So they trust each other. In business, there's always trust. So who knew? But Dr. Sastia, she's a chemist. She looked at the stuff. Oh, this is it. She's it. And why is she doing the business? I'll tell it for her because I asked her. She's the first woman to win any scientific award in Japan. She's not even Japanese. She's the first foreigner to do that even. So she's a pioneer as a woman. And she take a lot of pride in that. She also won awards in Indonesia, and that's a big country, right? How many people in Indonesia?
10 million.
No, 200 plus million. Where have you guys been? See? You're building a global business, you're not even looking at the markets where we're in. Right? There's a lot of opportunity out there, isn't it? Now imagine though, why is she building it? She said, you know what? No matter how many awards she wins, her pay never changes. Always trying to get grants, right? And always have to train PhD students to achieve their PhD degree, right? You know, and in Hong Kong, she brought another professor from Thailand. He's a professor at a medical school in Bangkok. I said, wow. So how'd you know him? She trained him to get his PhD. Then he went become a professor. And he's young. I look at him, he can't be more than like 35, right? You know, he said, I don't want to teach forever. I said, oh, that's interesting, you know? So everybody have to decide. You just have to get to them. You know, you have to establish a trust and all that. And they want to build a global business. You know, when I talked to Dr. Sastia, oh wow, she's super smart. Like Dr. Lina. You know, just sharp as a nail. You know, and all of you here. You know, because we live in the freest country in the world. We receive the most freest information. It's just a matter of will you take the effort and the commitment to look at it that seriously when other people are already doing it. You know, I just want to share this with you. I just want to, you know, show the contrast, right? In Indonesia, we have a lot of very wealthy people. Very wealthy, like, you know, when you talk about Indonesian, the wealthy, they're like super wealthy, right? So there's many of them in the business. I'm like, why are they in the business? Right? They don't need money. But it's a different culture. 95% of, well, it's probably more than that. 98 to 99% of the brand ambassadors there, they're all women. They all want to make their own money. They could be rich, but have you ever seen that movie, Crazy Rich Asian?
Yeah.
We can ask some of our Asian friends here. Is that kind of movie, are those stories, is it true?
Yes,
There's some truth in it, right? Yeah, because the bigger the family, the more money they have, all the kids, they're controlled by the money. It's true. So same thing, they want their own money, the women there. So, you know, we had a little Chinese New Year's party. One of the singers, she was on like Indonesia Idol or something. She came to sing, it's like, she's a member. She's building Three. I said, wow, amazing. So look, it said, and then some people say, oh, I don't know, that business is for rich people only. Because our product, compared to the other product in Indonesia, we seem to be a lot more expensive, right? But hey, you know, you get what you pay for too. So then I said to them, well, you know what? If rich people get in, that's the type of business you need to get in. If you're not rich. Because the rich people know where the money is. Okay. So they see this as a matching bonus. Why is it so good? Because the more people you help make money, the more you make. Is that okay?
Yes.
Right? So now, if you've never been in business school, there's something called organizational chart. In a traditional business, you have like CEO the board of directors at the top. Then you have the CEO, COO, etc., right? And then below them what? The presidents, right? And then the vice president, right? And then you have a lot of managers and supervisors or directors and then all the foot soldiers at the bottom, right? That's like a pyramid, isn't it? Well, here it's very interesting. And this is not what that looks like at all, okay? So you're here, you're gonna build two teams. Okay, so this is an organizational chart. you sponsor your first and second. Now your sponsor is probably over here. You could be on the sponsor's left side or right side. So the side your sponsor put you on is known as a common leg. Okay? So because your sponsor, let's say you sponsor your 1 and 2. And then this person, number 1, sponsors number 1A. Okay? And then 1A sponsors 1AA. In a sense, that's the people you sponsor level 1, they sponsor level 2, they sponsor level 3. Now, people can only come in at the bottom because there's people in these positions. So what happened? But you know what? Your sponsor can also put people here. We call them spillover. Okay? Now, what are we gonna do? Oh my God, the sponsor put somebody here. What are we gonna put our people? Well, if you're gonna put another person, let's say you only sponsor 1 and 2, right? Or you're level 1. Well, if you're gonna sponsor a third person, you can choose either put this side or this side. It's up to you. Let's say you put your third person here, right? So that's level what? What level is number 3?
Two. Level 2.
No, level 1.
What?
You put number 3 here. What level are they?
Your
Level
first
one.
level.
Okay.
on that side.
Okay, listen again.
Oh,
You sponsor number 1, you sponsor number 2.
Oh,
Both are your level
level
1s.
yes,
Because you sponsor them.
yes.
So then you sponsor number 3. What level are they?
Level 1.
Level 1.
Level 1.
Excuse me.
And then let's say you sponsor number 4. What level are they? Level 1.
Oh, 1.
If you sponsor number 5,
Level 1.
level 1.
They're personally sponsored.
Okay.
But whoever comes in first will override the points from the people below.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay? Don't be like a friend's friend. A friend of mine in the business, they went to talk to their friend who's a manager at Jamba Juice. She said, I don't want to, in a business where I override anybody.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no business mind at all, so it's not for her. Okay? In business, everybody overrides somebody. It doesn't matter what kind of business, right? The CEO overrides everybody, right? Okay, anyway.
Yeah.
But you wanted to have 5 people with open mind, okay? So, now imagine whoever comes in first, whoever makes a decision first, gets the first position.
Yeah.
They come in later, they go below them. So, in the business, 20 years ago, and Sally was in the same business. Some of you know my friend Weenie. So she's Indonesian. She lives in Southern Cal. So Weenie got to know the opportunity, right? And she wanted to sign up. She decided to call Kim at 11 o'clock at night. How do you sign up? Because she's not very good with the computer, right? She signed up. 1 hour later, there's a young man in Taiwan who signed up. So we need to override that young 19-year-old kid. That kid was very brave, went to work, found the number 1 guy in another company. 6 months later, 15,000 people through that one kid. And we need, just because 1 hour difference overrode Taiwan.
Wow. Crazy. That's a crazy rotation.
Is that crazy?
Yes.
That's not the only story I heard, right? So that's how Sally, now you know the story, right? So, and Weenie doesn't even know the 19-year-old boy. It was somebody else who put under her.
No.
Is timing important?
Yeah.
So one of the main features that not enough people talk about in the binary is urgency. Whoever comes in first overrides the next person. Because if you miss one person, you can miss one country. Because let's say you have a choice. So now come in 5, right? But instead somebody else took it. So you come in here and you're number 6. Well, this person also has 2 teams, right? So that's where the other people are.
Yeah.
You don't, if you came above that, you would override all those people too. That's how it works. Okay? Now, on the matching, level 1, if you help number 1 make money, cycle, right? Based on $35 cycle, you can match them 20%. If you're happy 10, you match 30% on the level 1. So, if you sponsor me, I make $35. How much you make? What is 20%? 7. 35, 7. 35, 7. If this week I make $1,000, company pay me 1,000. Company pay you what? 200. Now, if you're happy 10, you make 300. 30%. Now, down the road, if I'm cycling 10,000 a week, company pay me 10,000. Company pay you how much? 30%. 3,000. Would that be okay?
Yes.
No, okay, that'd be great. You'd be like, Samson, work harder. Can I take you to a lobster dinner, steak and lobster, surf and turf? Okay. So many years ago, somebody showed me this kind of plan. I'm like, you mean? Well, let me go through the numbers first. Level 2 are the people level 1 sponsor. Okay, so 1A, right? So 15%. Level 3, 10%. Level 4, 5%. Level 5, level 6, level 7, 5%. Okay? So many years ago, 20 years ago, when they showed me this plan, I'm like, you mean if I help this person make money, I'm like at 30%? And this person 30? And this person 30? And this person 30? This person 30? This person 30? This person 15? This person 10? This person nothing because it's spillover, but I still override the points coming up. And then, this person put somebody, well, I don't know. My level 2 again. Another 15%. I'm like, huh? What's my chance of making money? Well, I know from my experience in life, in sales, real estate, furniture, some people were very average. And some people don't do much at all. Some people are superstars. They're all out there. Just need to go sort and find them. So what's the chance of me making money here? Or you making money if you had that kind of group? Very good. It's crazy. So in our last business, we only have one big leg and one smaller leg, but still, she did really well. One side she overrode a lot of different countries, the other side she overrode a lot of Indonesia. It wasn't through her, it's through one lady, Yan Yan. And she was super rich too. You know the toilet brand TOTO?
Toto? I love Toto.
They are the owners. 60% of Toto they own. She doesn't need it, but she helps people with their health, and women in Indonesia make income. That's what her dream was. Unfortunately, she passed away. A few months ago, cancer. Yeah. So, but we know her for almost 20 years. Yeah. So, but it's a legacy. She just her legacy. The idea, what she's trying to do. At the Indonesia office, she had donated a nice floral arrangement, big one. It's there. Just to remember her. Okay. So is matching bonus good? Now you have to move up the rank to get there. 1 star to all the way to 7 star. That's 7 level. Okay. And to finish it off, 5th way to make money. Once you get to a director, it's 4 stars and up, right? You get to share 3% of global CV. So like how much is that? Well, let's just take a look real quick. Just in general, okay, this just, it depends on how many people on Smart Chip, how much they buy every month, or also depends on how many people buying the packages, right? Or how many people sell retail, right? But if you look at this, let's say for example, $600 is 300 points, right? So even if the company does 10 million, that's 5 million, 3% of that share among a handful of people every week. Is that good? Yes. So you'll be making money from people that's not even on your team. This is not profit sharing. This is a percentage of company sales. That's very generous. Number 6, the founders pool. Now we don't have founders anymore, but you should know about it because every country we open, like officially launch. We're gonna launch in July, Taiwan and Malaysia. those leaders over there, they get a chance to crack at a limited number of founders. Founders are the people that the company reward them for coming in to be the first group of people to build. Now in the US, it's over. But the only way you can get the founder is you become a 4-star. If you're not a founder today, the only way is you become a 4-star and you have a chance to be a founder. But you have to be 4-star and up. Okay? Now, how do you like the plan?
Wonderful.
It's huge. You know? Because if you look at this little sign here, infinity, what does that mean? Anybody buy, you're like $35. 300, 600, 35, 300, 600, 35. What do you need to do? Work at it, right? And it doesn't take a lot of people, it takes the right people. Now recently, I want to share this because I don't think it's been shared, and I only know half the story, okay? Recently, we had a lot of people up rank after Hong Kong, right? And one of them is a good friend of mine, Holly DeMont. How many of you seen her on the Zoom?
Yeah.
Right? Amazing. Now, one thing with Holly is, I'll just let you know, her income is very steady. You know why? Her personality is very steady. She's you watch her on the Zoom, you know. You know, we have a saying in the industry, the more drama, less production. Yeah, I know. And that's what I'm talking about, increasing your capacity, right? How to handle people in your group, right? How to handle your own business, right? How to handle yourself, right? She's one of the most even-keeled people I've ever met. And she's so focused every day, nonstop. Her income doesn't go like this. Her income goes like this. So she was destined to hit 6-star. We know it, because she's that type of leader. But what she does though, she spent 2 years building the foundation. What's the foundation? Her key people in her group. So she spent probably 70 to 80% of her time on the key people in her group. Make sure they're doing well, make sure, through them, and also get to know the team. Who's doing the home meeting, who's doing this, who's doing that. She knows her team. We have something called a T-chart. A T-chart is a way to just look at your organization, right? So for example, you're gonna have a whole bunch of people in your organization. Okay? You're here, and you're gonna have, 2 different sides. You start with 2 people, right? And then, who is working? Then you're gonna look in their group. Who's working on the left? Who's working on the right? Who's working on the left? Who's working on the right? And below this person, who's working on their left? Who's working on the right? And you go drill down, whoever's active. But if you know your group, you know what's gonna happen? You will also know your business. You also know who to work with, because you took time to look at the group. That's what she did. So she was destined. Any promotion, she know who to make sure engage right away. Because those people are working. The people not working, she doesn't put on here, right? So when she do that, she just steadily build a group. But she spent the time. Like if you spend the time with someone, look, if Joy really want to know the plan, want to know how to present it, spend the time with her, sit down, right, page by page. Now I think the PowerPoint, the opportunity one, you can even read it line by line. You can do a pretty good presentation because it's designed that way. For the comp plan, know how to explain it. Now, the way I explain it, is it pretty simple? Yeah. Well, now you know. Now you got to duplicate it. Now you got to do it. Okay. So when you start to learn, don't worry about making any mistakes. Okay. There's a fine print. You got to look at the financial reward plan for more detail. And then any question, you know what you do? There's something called FaceTime. Video calling, WhatsApp. Get your sponsor or upline on the phone. Let them do the talking for you. It's much easier than you do the talking. Sometimes when people are too close, they won't listen to you, right? They have that cognitive dissonance because they know you too well, right? You're not a millionaire yet. Why are you telling me this? Does that make sense, right? All the time, right? So what you need to do is you got to leverage your upline, your sponsor. Let them do the talking for you. And you got to ask for their time. I mentioned this last time. If you don't ask, yeah, we're all busy. And you know, especially Chinese, oh, I don't want to bother you. You're so busy and all that. Oh, it's, oh, we're gonna make money. Spill water. Okay. Look, you know who we're busy with? We're busy with people who ask for our time, except you did not ask for it. That's how it works. Okay? And you know, that's my last thing to all of you, because look, let's build it up. You have another meeting here, right? May 3rd. Right? Now I cannot come. I'll be in North Carolina, okay, with Kim. You got to be able to build the meeting yourself, okay, and come together, work together. All right. If Carmen wants to come and do the presentation, practice it. Start practice. I'm sure you can do it, 100%. Okay. Or and anybody else, you got to align the testimonial. You know, you got to make it sharp. You got to play some music before the opportunity meeting. You know, meet and greet the people. But if you're gonna have an event here on May 3rd, it doesn't matter me or Lance come or not come. What do you have to do? Bring people. You gotta bring people. Okay. You know, Lance did not say it direct enough. I will say it. Okay. When you have people in the room who've made tens of millions of dollars, okay, you want to bring as many people to come to listen to them. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Because you don't, you know, if me and Lance were living here, it's a different situation. But how often do we come? How many times a year?
Once in a while.
How many times a year do you think we'll come? Okay.
Twice a year.
Right. Well, I don't know. Depends, right? But we don't come enough, right? Right? So what do you got to do when you know we're coming?
Fill the room.
You got to promote like there's no tomorrow. Lance, can you come here for a second? Let me ask you. Share with the folks. You know, out of anybody, you know, Lance has built massively in North America. Tell them how you promote, how you get the people in the seat. Come up here, come up here.
It starts from when we finish this meeting, and what you do between now and May 3rd. That's really what it depends. Because a lot of times, like I say, I've done this. I can't tell you how many times and how many cities I've done this into. And it takes somebody in a city who leaves here and makes phone calls on the way home and said, "Man, you missed it. I'm so sorry. I know you couldn't make it. I know the schedule is wrong. I listened to these two. I grabbed some information. When can we have coffee? Let me show you what they're doing." And you start tomorrow. You start on Monday. And you start to, and you talk to who do you know, and you get them started. Who do you know? And I mean, we literally 30 days from now we should have 4 or 5 in depth, really. Otherwise, what ends up happening is we leave here, you don't do anything, and then like May 1st you start making phone calls and saying, "Oh yeah, we got to fill the room." That right there doesn't work. It takes starting now. So I always look and say, are they doing what we're doing when we're there, when we're not there? If the answer is yes, man, there's no, I'll keep coming, I'll keep coming, I'll keep coming. If the answer is no, then we got to find somebody who catches that vision and runs.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. So, you know, you guys got to bring a lot of people. You guys got to invite, you got to build before we come. Don't wait till we come to invite people. It's too late, right? If you, look, imagine the number, okay? Let's say you get excited, you talk to people, like Lance said, you follow exactly what Lance told you. Say, you know, think about what you got out of here today. You want to tell everybody on your team what you got out of it, what you saw, what you heard. Because they were not here. You missed it. Oh my God. We're having another one May 3rd. You must come. Right? And between now and May 3rd, what do you got to do? You got to build. You got to go share. You got to go talk to people over and over and over again. If you get 5 people here next time, 10 people here next time, the time after that, sky's the limit. That's how it works. So how many of you wish you had more people here? Okay, don't wish, you gotta make it happen. Right? So you gotta promote hard. You gotta keep it at the top of your mind. It's like all you're doing is when you go build, once people come in or the prospect, you're planting the seed in the ground. So how does the seed grow? With sunshine, rain, and maybe some fertilizer. You're trying to like put in more fertilizer, right? Like grow. But it's really the sun and the rain that does it. You know what's the sun and the rain? It's the event. It's the system. It's the Zooms. It's happening. It's raining Zooms with or without you. Does that make sense? So don't take advantage of every single thing, every single event. You know, tee it up right, introduce it right, and put the people in front of the Zoom. Okay? So thank you very much. It's a blessing to be in front of you. And me and Lance, we flew in along with Chloe. You know, we came in for you guys. And I know also Abby flew in from Oregon and Jenny from LA and Dr. Bob from Dr. Bob and Vivi from Palm Springs and let's see, Dr. Lena, where are you nowadays? In Sedona, right?
yeah.
Okay, we all came to build a business together with all of you. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.